Did y'all hear that Bill Cosby is suing, or did sue, 7 of his 50 rape accusers for defamation? Yeah, because he wants to make it perfectly clear he only raped 43 women. You know, whenever someone famous rapes someone, or like 50 someones, and we actually get to find out about it, right? You always see these people go online every single time. You could set your watch by them, these rape apologists. You always see them go online and they always say stupid shit like, when a woman gets drunk and fucks a guy and regrets it, she tells everybody it's rape. Okay, no, she doesn't. Okay, that is not happening. Okay, women, you already know this. Guys, take it from us, okay? When a woman gets drunk and fucks a guy and regrets it, she doesn't tell anybody. She doesn't tell anybody. She takes that shit to the grave. Right? I mean, maybe her best friend knows, depending on how disgusting the guy was. Right? She's not gonna call 911. Let's get it on the record. Right? Let's get some DNA involved. You know, assuming she can afford to pay for her own rape kit and they ever actually process it. You know, if I had time to get my name dragged through the media every time I got drunk and fucked a guy I regretted, I wouldn't have had time to fuck guys I regret. That is a very time-consuming process. And you also see these people saying that the rape accusers are in it for the money. Yeah, rape victims are in it for the money. Okay, that's not a thing. That's not a real thing. Y'all, I've been around. I've seen some shit. I'm 51. That's like dead in LA years. You know, I have seen a lot of crazy shit in my life. I've never seen any kind of scenario even remotely similar to, so, Mrs. Rockefeller, how did you make your fortune? Well, Bob, it's all owed rape money. Built the family on false rape accusations. Rode that shit all the way to the bank. My mistake was getting raped by poor dudes. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. So I have a dog named Bear. And, y'all, every time I pet Bear, he takes his dick out. Every time I walk in a room, Bear takes his dick out. Every time I look in his general direction, Bear takes his dick out. But at least he's not trying to make a comeback in comedy. Before Louis C.K. publicly admitted to jerking off in front of his coworkers, people who weren't comedians used to always ask me, what do you think, Bobbie? You think he did it? You think it's true? You think he did it? And I was always like, yes. Absolutely. 100%. Definitely did it. I don't know about y'all's experience, but my experience is that like 30% of dudes will just take their dick out. Completely unannounced. I'm seeing some nods. Right? Like you're hanging out with a guy, maybe writing jokes. You look over, he's got his dick out. Right? You're on the road with a buddy, having a good time. You look in the passenger seat. There's the dick. Right? You go to the bank, you go in the back room with the bank manager. He takes his dick out. That one could just be me. Is that one just me? I think I'm bringing it out of people. Did y'all hear about that scientist, that male scientist, that said that women should not be allowed in the lab because they will fall in love with you? And when you criticize them, they cry. You know what, though? I gotta give him that whole fall in love with you thing. I do. I have to give him that. Because, come on, y'all, we all know how hot male scientists are. Bill Nye. Working next to that all day. You kidding me? And by the way, if every time you criticize someone, they cry, maybe you should work on your constructive criticism skills. I was reading this article on CNN about this guy in Florida. I could just stop the joke there. You can just fill in the rest, right? So this guy in Florida, y'all, beheaded his mother. And CNN said he did it because she was nagging him about moving some boxes. Y'all, he hit his own mother in the head with an axe. Then he dragged her body out to the garage and cut her head off. Then he took her head out to the curb, put it in the trash can in front of the house. And then he got her body and dragged it out to the curb and put it in the trash can in front of the house. I'm just saying it would have been much easier to just move the damn boxes. But I love how CNN said he cut off her head because she was nagging him. No, I'm pretty sure he cut off her head because he's fucking crazy. And nothing she did had anything to do with that. Right? And so you may have read this in LA Times, but a friend of a friend of mine, LA Times said that he was living with his ex-girlfriend and that the ex told him she was going to move out and that his reaction was to kill her pet bunny. Yeah, he did. He killed her pet bunny. And then he skinned it. And then he ate it. And he was texting her pictures of it the whole time. He was doing this to her pet the whole time. And my friend goes, well, that's what happens when exes live together. Real? Seriously? That's what happens? Someone skins a bunny? We have 3 pugs. We ever get divorced, Chris getting the fuck out. I do not want to see those pictures. But I love how the media always tells you what the victim was doing right before they were attacked, just so we can all be sure they had it coming. Right? They're like, oh, don't worry about it. Hey, it's fine. She had it coming. Don't sweat it, you guys. It's no big deal. She had it coming. Because every one of us, we're on that line, right? We're on that edge. Every one of us, we have to admit it, right? Every one of us, we're all just one nagging woman away from beheading our mother and skinning a bunny. If only bitchy women wouldn't be so bitchy, that bunny would be alive today. Let's keep going, shall we? So I saw this thing on MSNBC about sex trafficking. Well, I was getting ready for a show, and it was on in the background so I could hear it. And, you know, I'm getting ready, and they're talking to these 3 guys that evidently were involved in breaking up a sex trafficking ring. So it was like a cop and like the DA and, you know, maybe like a social worker. And I'm getting ready, I'm listening to them, and they're like, the first guy's like, and they were kidnapped, and they were raped, and then they were sold to other men to be raped. And then the next guy was like, and their families were threatened, and they were tortured, and they were raped and sold to other men to be raped. And the next one was like, and they were kidnapped and raped and sold to other men to be raped. And I was getting ready, whatever. And then they got to the part where they tattoo the women. Evidently, if you were kidnapped by a sex trafficking ring, they tattoo you. And you would have thought that the volume had been turned way up on my TV. Because then the 3 guys were like, and then they tattooed them? They tattooed them? Without their permission? Can you imagine the violation of another human being? To put ink on their body without their permission? I was like, you had me at rape. In MSNBC, like, you had me at rape. But, like, somehow the guys, they could relate to that, to the tattoo thing. Like, they could relate. They couldn't relate to the rape thing, but somehow they identified with the tattoo thing. So it got me thinking, maybe that's what we can do to make people give a shit about rape victims. We can all get tattoos. Like, we could all get together, we could have a meeting, we could decide what our tattoos would be. I think mine would read, I'm sorry, I make you uncomfortable. With like a butterfly. Okay, let's come back to happiness. So, I was reading on CNN.com. Well, the headline read, 1/4 of billionaires are women. And at the bottom of the article, it said 12% of billionaires are women. 12% is not 1/4, CNN. Right? That's not even close. Seriously, that's why you should do drugs. To teach you the difference between 1/4 and an 1/8. Right? Except for cocaine. I'm not recommending you do coke. I would never do a drug that made me learn the metric system. Because I'm an American, goddammit. So my best friend gets Cosmo. Anybody here get Cosmo? Good, because you'd be part of the problem. So I was over at her house one day, and there was a Cosmo laying on the table, and the cover read, 50 secrets to please your man. So I read the secret, y'all, and one of them was, he wants to finish on your breasts. I don't need a magazine to tell me a guy wants to come on my tits. Okay, that's not a secret. They usually lead with that. This guy was like, Bobbie, your breasts are so pretty, I want to come all over them. Your mouth is so pretty, I want to come all in it. I said, remind me to never take you to the Getty. The Getty's a museum. They have pretty things there. This guy was like, Bobbie, you're so pretty. I just want to come on your face while I choke you. I said, good thing I'm not ugly. The fuck would you do to me then? This guy private messaged me on Twitter one night and said, you must be really proud of your tits. And I was like, well, yeah. They went to grad school. These D's got A's. I love it when guys are like, oh, I could show you a few things. I could teach you a few things. Really? What else is there? Isn't sex just like X number of things that could go into X number of places? Isn't that variable finite? Seriously, unless you're gonna elbow my taint, I've done it. I'm just kidding, I'm 51. I've clearly had my taint elbowed. Everyone go home and elbow a taint after you smell a dick. So I'm old as fuck. Anybody else old as fuck? Yep, I'm old as fuck. Yo, I know I'm getting old because I still use my roach clip, but now I use it to pluck whiskers out of my chin. Yo, I'm so old, I've smoked in a hospital. As a patient. Yo, I'm so old, I've seen an actual douchebag. I'm so old, I've had Quaaludes. and crabs. I'm so old, I've paid off my student loans. I'm old, people. There's this coffee house that I like to go into because they have hot little boys working in there. And that's how Bobbie got hooked on caffeine. So there's this guy in there named John, and he's in his 30s, and he's really hot. And I like to go in there, you know, and flirt with him and pretend like I'm in his league. And I like to think that when I leave there every day, he says to himself, man, I'd like to have a girl like that. But probably what he's really saying is, I wish my mom were that cool. I mean, I know I'm only 14 years older than him, but I'm from the South. I could so be his mama. And if you knew me at 14, I could so be his mama.